It was just another peaceful Saturday morning when I stepped out to grab a coffee. But then I saw it. The dreaded sight. A tow truck slowly inching up my driveway. And in the driver's seat? None other than Karen, the HOA president. My car was parked right where it's always been, my own driveway. But she was there, clipboard in hand, ready to make my day a living nightmare. What happened next was something I couldn't have possibly prepared for. And there she was, Karen, the self-proclaimed queen of the neighborhood, armed with nothing but a scowl and a toxic sense of entitlement. With her high and mighty attitude, she declared that my car was violating HOA rules. But what really blew my mind, she wasn't just trying to fine me. She was trying to tow my car from my very own driveway. It was like she thought she owned the place. But what Karen didn't know was that I had already started making a plan. A plan that would not only stop her in her tracks, but also get her arrested. Yep, you heard that right. She thought she could mess with me without consequences. Well, let's just say I was about to teach her a lesson she'd never forget. It all started with the most ridiculous of complaints. Karen had been sending me passive-aggressive notes for weeks about my car being unsightly and an eyesore in the neighborhood. But this time, she wasn't content with just a note. No, she showed up at my door with her clipboard and began spewing about how I was in violation of HOA parking rules. I told her that my car was parked in my own driveway, which was perfectly legal. She wasn't having any of it. "This is going to be an issue for the whole neighborhood," she said, glaring at me. "You'll have to move it, or else." Days went by, and Karen's complaints kept coming. Every time I saw her in the neighborhood, she'd give me that judgmental look, as if she had the power to control every aspect of my life. Then came the final straw. She filed an official complaint with the HOA, claiming my car had reduced property values and demanded I move it immediately. No warning, no chance for me to explain, just straight to a formal complaint. That's when I knew this wasn't just a petty feud anymore. She was out to get me. This was no longer about some silly rules. It was personal. I was done being bullied. But shouting at her wouldn't solve anything. I needed to be smart, strategic. I started digging into the HOA's rules and regulations, looking for any loopholes, any weaknesses I could exploit. Every time Karen came to my door with her clipboard, I stood my ground, but I knew I had to do more than just resist. I was about to turn the tables. Then it hit me, an idea that made everything clear. I wasn't going to just ignore her. No, I was going to take her down at her own game. I found out that the HOA had been ignoring several legal boundaries, and there was one in particular that would be my key to setting everything in motion. I had a plan, one so clever it would leave her speechless. And the best part? It would involve something she never saw coming. I started to investigate, and that's when I found it. There was a plot of land that the HOA had claimed to maintain but never really took care of. And guess what? That land had an easement right across it. My ticket to taking control back from Karen. It was one of those odd details buried deep in HOA records, and no one had ever really noticed it. But I had, and it was going to be my secret weapon. I wasn't going to act impulsively. No, I wanted to make sure my move was airtight. I consulted with a few friends in real estate, and they helped me confirm that the HOA had been neglecting this land for years. The moment I bought it, I knew things would change. I signed the paperwork, and the deed was mine. That plot was now a part of my property, and Karen's precious HOA could no longer use it as their personal playground. I could already hear the outrage in her voice. When Karen caught wind of what I'd done, she was livid. She immediately called for an emergency board meeting. The HOA didn't like anyone going against them, especially a rebellious resident who dared to challenge their authority. But by then, it was too late. The land was officially mine. They had no legal grounds to argue with me now. The moment Karen tried to confront me, I was ready. The day finally came. I pulled up to my property, parked my car right on that land, and made sure everyone knew the HOA had no say in what I did with it. I put up a large sign that read, "Private property, no HOA trespassing." Karen was not going to like this. She came storming over, clipboard in hand, demanding I remove my car immediately. But I stood my ground, smiling as she realized the power had shifted. Her once firm grip on the neighborhood was slipping fast. Karen marched up, her face red with frustration, and when she tried to take action, I showed her the paperwork proving I was within my rights. The HOA couldn't touch me now, And the best part? She had no idea what hit her. The HOA's board was forced to acknowledge my rights. And Karen? Well, she had to swallow her pride as the tables turned. It was a sweet moment of victory, and a satisfying one for everyone watching. I stood there, feeling the weight of the victory wash over me. It wasn't just about the land or the car. It was about standing up to someone who thought they could control my life. The HOA had learned a valuable lesson that day. Never underestimate your neighbors, especially the ones who've had enough. As I looked out over my property, I couldn't help but smile. The peace had returned. And Karen? Well, she learned the hard way. But I have a feeling this won't be the last time Karen and I cross paths. The HOA may have backed off for now, but knowing them, they're not going to let this slide. So, if you want to see what happens next, and if Karen tries anything else, I'll be here. Stay tuned for the next chapter. What would you do if the HOA tried to mess with your property? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more epic revenge stories.